Today we're gonna look at this little video here called "What Defines Health: Fit Women versus Overweight Women." Yikes!
That's my goal. So
Yeah, I agree with you.
so
check her go
I
out
have
here.
family members that have like thyroids and they can't gain weight or they can't lose weight, but I think that they can manage to stay at a place that's going to be healthy for them. To me personally, I do feel like I can be at a better.
She feels like she can be at a better place. Her stomach is literally showing. Okay, so what we got here, let's go on and zoom in on this. We got the septum piercing and the choke me out slut necklace alongside of the hoop earrings. And this is very bad. This one here, bit more modest, but still we have the, I'm showing you a quarter of my tits and covered in tattoos. And let's look at it again, guys. About 3/4 of all dateable, or all the women that used to be dateable, are now undateable and overweight. We have 75% obese women, okay? And it's looking like 1/4 of the entire Gen Z population was aborted on top of that. So we're looking at a bad time for families, a bad time for social morality, and, hundreds of thousands of videos are telling you on YouTube anyways that this problem, many people making many videos have ultimately found that this problem starts with women being propagandized to an extreme degree, and by the time they turn 18, it's too late. It's almost too late. By the time they're in their 20s, I think an 18-year-old who's been fully fully pronounced, maybe you could save them. Let's say you got an 18-year-old, or we had a estranged daughter come to the family, and she had been estranged, and she was 17, and she turned 18. She stayed for a few months, and we seen, and as soon as she got here, the septum piercing, the look in her eyes of basically lost, just completely lost, and fully propagandized by the internet and the female algorithms that come up on Facebook, YouTube, whatever else. And during this time, she was supposed to get her GED, but she had a boyfriend, and this boyfriend was, he was actually like 16. And so I even was thinking, maybe she can be saved. And her mom did a little work on her, got her to take this out, Seemed like almost, but she wouldn't fully get her GED. She pretty much, what she did was lay around. And this is an 18-year-old, so we're not judging super harshly. This is just a child, just turned 18. They're not grown, Now, let me take that back. As far as the decisions that are being made, yes, full responsibility. But someone who hasn't had parents, who gets parents at the age 17, 18, you're going to deal with a couple of issues, Yeah, and these things maybe can be fixed, but in this case, they were not fixed. I'm itching because I'm actually getting a tan, a little less white than I was last week, which we love white around here, but tan is always nice. We're all aiming to be about this color this woman is here, unfortunately. Maybe a little less dark than her. But anyways, in this case, this 18-year-old could not be saved. And she went back into where she came from, and it's sad to see. I sort of watched from a distance, and in the end, I thought maybe I should have done more. But in these sort of cases, a man gets involved that's not the father. You can catch a charge quick. In the end, and this is why I say this, at the end, the last day she was here, and we can get more into this later, but the last day this newly parented 18-year-old was here, she called the police on us, on not us really, but on her own mother, because her mom said, you're going to be home by 9 o'clock. You're 18 now. You can go to your boyfriend's. You can be, but you can be here at a good time. And we're not talking weekends even. We're talking weekdays. You're supposed to be getting your GED. We're supposed to be helping you when we're feeding you, clothing you. And she couldn't do it. Like every day, it was 9:45. It was 10 after 10, and it was always a different excuse. Well, I can't. My boyfriend. And what is she doing? Basically, every time she's going straight to her boyfriends. And this is an 18-year-old girl, and I would have thought that she was 11 or 12, the way she acted. And that's the thing. I'm still learning myself. But men, we grew up, in the 90s and the early 2000s. Most men, we assumed that women were like us. And this is partly why all this bullshit has happened. We assumed women were, more or less mentally a lot like us. We care about the truth. We want to know how to do things right. We don't want to hurt people. We want to know how to get the job done. We love in a certain way, and we, by now 2025, we're saying that no, women were treated a certain way in the olden days because it was necessary. They are not like us. I mean, look in the Bible. Eve literally was told, Eve, there's only two humans, and they are directly connected with God, the creator of all things. And that still wasn't enough to convince someone, don't sin, don't eat this fruit. And after she eats the fruit, she doesn't, it's not like she thinks, oh, I made a huge mistake and I feel so guilty. Let me not make this worse by getting him to do it too. No. She still went ahead. The coping starts right from the beginning of the Bible. It's that's not how they think. I mean, and now, the videos on this stuff are so big because I think men are just fascinated with how wrong we assumed, they think. And don't get me wrong, there are plenty of smart women out there, but their mental processes are much different. And, that's a lot of it is even their brains are wired up to eventually take care of babies,
I'm working on it, and that's my goal. So
yeah, I agree with you.
And that's my
Let me just
for them. To me, personally, I do feel like I can be at a better place. I'm working on it, and that's my goal. So
they're always working on it. They're always on their journey. And look at this one. She's like, I'm not giving this up, this amount of power.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think that definitely people have ailments, there's different diseases and all that, but I think at the end of the day, what you can do, the best physical peak for your personal body is in your hands. You may not.
And this woman here is dressed like these women. There's literally no shame. Like, I'm not dressing like that if I weigh no fucking 200 pounds. Like, and then this one is like, I don't know what the fuck this is, but it clearly, like, bitch, are you getting married? Like, no. Then we have 2 more in the background here. Looks like only 1 out of 4 is dressed like a normal human being. We'll see.
Like someone you want to look like, your ideal situation, but you can optimize your body to be the highest performance that you think that you can get to.
When I first started working out, I lost 60 pounds, and that included just counting calories. I didn't have to work out as hard. I did the treadmill. I went at an incline, and I just walked the whole time, watching a movie and just walked. I just made healthier choices, and I've been mindful about what I put inside my body.
Like, you put in that effort, right? You made those conscious decisions to walk on the treadmill, count your calories. You were super exact with everything, and that's how both of you guys were able to lose so much weight, right?
And I think at least part of the percentage of what you're going to see is that the higher IQ women, I could be completely wrong, but I'm guessing the higher IQ women are going to be ones that are more healthy because it's just a better decision. It's smarter. You know, these 2 women guarantee you their IQs are above these other 2 women. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is.
So your physique is 100% in your control. It's just that nobody wants to put the effort in.
Just so we can invite the disagreeers, that's a great point to bring in our disagreeers. Whoever wants to pick up where we just left off.
So while of course there are aspects that I think you can control about your physique, I think there are more things that are out of your control. Like, it is so much more expensive to eat healthy than it is to eat like crap. If I go to the grocery store and I just want to buy a bunch of frozen meals, that's going to be so much cheaper than me going and buying fresh produce and fresh fruit and everything.
I disagree.
Yeah, first of all, I disagree. Look, they're so good, and for whatever evolutionary, reason, they're so good at coping with bad decisions that they make bad decisions just so much easier. And then the world on top of this tells them, like, no, like, we're always like uplifting and like lying to them. So,
Immediately.
I disagree too.
Why do you disagree?
The prepackaged foods, the frozen ones, way more expensive. I've been on a budget, eternally. I always save money by just going to the grocery store and buying ingredients.
I agree.
About 15% of all American women are 100 pounds overweight.
You on that, but I can go get a frozen meal
100
sometimes for
pounds.
$1.50, $2, where if I want to cook a whole meal, like depending on what all the ingredients I'm getting, that could be $10.
So you'll get more.
Yes, but still, you have to think from people who have like no money and they're thinking like, oh, I can get.
I've had no money. I've had $12 for a week's amount of food.
I hear both. I think that you definitely, in the short-term mindset, it is cheaper.
It's like, if you're broke, buy less food. Buy the unhealthy shit. Just eat less of it. Stop eating at 10 o'clock at night and then going to bed. Like, you don't get that big because you're poor. You don't get that big because you can't afford it. Okay? It takes more food to get you that big. I don't care what kind of food. Like, it's an addiction.
To a fast food restaurant, they have like a $1 menu. I think they've even increased the $1 menu now. So,
like
which
a
is
$2
crazy.
menu.
It's like a $2 menu. So that's valid, I think, but I think it's killing us in the long term. Like, it's like that short dopamine effect, the dopamine where you're like, oh, I just need something right now.
Yeah.
I think that's the issue.
I also did want to, just touch on, other than like food costs, like there's also privilege when it comes to like having time to cook stuff.
Definitely,
Like if you work a
100%,
full-time job, if you have kids and stuff, a lot of the time it's just easier. You don't have the time and energy. Like, I enjoy cooking, but it's a lot of work sometimes. And it's much easier for me to just like go through the drive-through. And then also privilege when it comes to like your mental health. When you are depressed, when you're struggling to even like get through the day, it can be really hard to have that motivation to eat well, to move your body and stuff. So for then when people are like, oh,
Yes, it can. And look, I've been there. But there comes a time where you have to choose suffering. And that's the biggest thing that nobody gets taught, especially in America. We literally get taught that the purpose of life is to be happy. Make yourself happy at all cost. Fucking nuts. When the purpose of life, according to the Bible, is to sin less, to live your life in a way where you can get into heaven. That's on another note, and lead others to Christ, of course, but that's on another note. The big factor here that no one gets taught, especially not women, is that you're going to suffer either way. But if you choose to suffer, you can get happiness out of that instead of waiting around and it makes me happy to eat cake all day, so I'm just going to eat cake all day, and then ultimately you suffer, but you don't get to choose it. I mean, just being that big. Look at these arms here. It's like, look at these fucking arms, dude. Look at all that canvas for that tattoo artist. It's just, I'm not trying to be mean, but in a way I am trying to be mean because women need shame. And men, our mindset is, we help build the world to be comfortable for them. And there's no hatred involved in this shame. We need positive propaganda, lose weight propaganda, for women. And there's no hatred there in that. Men just don't, there's no hatred for women. There are men who hate women, of course, but most men just don't. What reason do we have to hate women? Like, we're men. We can literally have a great life all alone. And be happy. Give us a PlayStation and a box of pizza once a week, and we're good. We don't require as much, and we built this world for the benefit of women and children. Men, and I say this, men ultimately are not bad. We're just not. You're going to see, there are plenty of bad people, but ultimately, men feel a lot of guilt if we do something bad, especially when you're trying to be as disciplined as possible. I mean, I had ice cream last night, and the amount of guilt I feel just from doing that, and it's just going to take a lot of work,
you working out, it's like, dude, I can barely even get out of bed. So please stop with that.
I just wanted to say that I didn't step forward because I have PCOS and I just recently got diagnosed with it. So with PCOS, it's so much more difficult for me to lose the weight and control what I want my physique to look like. It's just so much harder. It's not impossible, but it is.
We can fix it.
It's something
and
that
we can
can
fix
be
it.
fixed.
PCOS, we can fix
Sorry
it.
to cut y'all off, but Brie, I just wanted to hear from you.
The question, your body is in your control, I just think it is not 100% in your control. To say it's black and white, you can change it or you can't, is just crazy. It's just so nuanced. I really appreciated you bringing up the food
look how healthy
access
she
that you
looks.
have, the knowledge access, your socioeconomic status. I go to the gym, I sit there, and I'm like, if only everyone had access and the free time to do this. I'm sure so many other people would love to do that.
But of course, she's free time, really? You think this right here has no free time? Trust me, she has free time. You don't get that huge because you don't have time. That's just wrong.
But people are struggling. They need to pay their rent. They can't just allot that time. They need to
You literally have to push that food into your body well past the point where your brain is saying, no, I don't want any more. I don't want any more. I'm full. You have to, just keep pushing it. Yeah, yeah. Gotta be happy at all cost. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm feeling depressed. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And your brain's like, please just, we've had enough. Yeah, 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 yeah.
ties. And I think that's ultimately
yeah.
what is really sad.
Yeah.
The only excuse for that, for being that large, now I understand you get a little pudge every now and then you deal with it. You know, maybe you took a few weeks off, you get a little pudge. But the only reason to be that big, to where your clothes are not for a normal human being, is the only reason to be that freaking big is if you have a major addiction. The only excuse is I haven't been taking responsibility for my health. Now that's a good excuse.
Everyone would love to take care of themselves.
I disagree. I'm sorry, I disagree. Like, there's some of us who are on the fit side that don't have that privileges. I wake up at 4 a.m., have a full-time job.
Snaps to you.
I get it done. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I want to be the highest version of myself, the most evolved version, and she has to show up.
But your life allows it.
Yeah.
No,
Your
I make my
lifestyle-
life
No,
allow it.
exactly.
I
You
surround
do,
myself
but
with
other
that.
people don't have the possibilities that you
They
have.
do.
American women and Americans in general have some of the highest obesity rates in the developed world. About 42% of U.S. women have obesity, and over 70% are overweight or obese.
Not everyone, no.
And I also think there's
You
something
need
to be
from
said.
Gotta put the effort in.
places.
That's it.
But I also think too, like let's say for example, you're a teenager and you're like 500 pounds.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
work that you need to do to remedy that is ungodly. Like that's really challenging. That's a
I
hard
agree.
thing to do for
I
anybody.
agree.
As opposed to like me, I was really skinny and then I decided, oh, I'm gonna go to the gym. I put on my weight. The results are showing. It looks like I'm working super hard. I make these choices like go girl.
Right.
But that is not the same accessibility that someone can make that change for themselves in different circumstances.
What did that mean? That didn't even mean anything. It's basically just, she's a woman, I'm a woman, so whatever she needs to do. And the other thing that's important, when you have, because this is basically all women here, when you have fit women, they, in their heads, they may not know it, but they are inclined to keep that woman fat. Because if she's fat, she has lesser access to the men that those fit women want. If she should lose weight and get fit, now that woman becomes more of a competition. And so it's just, and they have no idea, you know, that they think like that. They simply get a feeling, and that feeling is interpreted into, well, this can't be that woman's fault. It's not that woman's fault. Just cope along with the woman, and this big cope fest rises up. And I would say only very intelligent women, or I couldn't even say really, but there's not, I doubt there's going to be a woman to say, yeah, you're fat. Yeah, this is your fault. Lift weights. Stop eating so much. I doubt we'll hear that during this entire show
My only
from another woman.
is it's hard for both, but it can be done, is my point.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
That's
say
my
that it's
only
as hard
point.
for me as someone
It can be done. Hey, that's something. That's the truth.
overweight trying to lose that weight. In my opinion,
But do you believe that it can be done?
I believe it can be done. I believe
Okay,
it can
so
be
we
done, but I
agree.
think empathy and compassion
I believe it can be done, but empathy, compassion, something about the look in her face too.
for the different circumstances that
Like, maybe it's her eyelashes, but I don't trust her. Like, she's going to say what she needs to say to keep these women fat.
stop someone from doing that is necessary to see like, oh, get off your ass and like do all this,
No one said
which you're
that.
not saying, but I'm saying some people, commenters,
Myron's
might be
not
saying
in this
that.
episode.
Oh, shout out, Myron.
Myra was the word.
There is a spectrum for your body. Our height isn't under our control. Our fat distribution.
Excuses. Let me make sure to keep these women fat. However, I just get a feeling in this side of my head, and then on this side of my head, I go, oh, that feeling means I need to cope with them and make sure they know that they don't have to lose weight.
Our bone density, our muscle density, our metabolism.
Yes,
These are all things that make
Look at the fat women agreeing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. See, it's my body type.
who we are, but in that spectrum of health,
And I guarantee you, these beautiful ones here are like higher up in the hierarchy. Well, their beauty automatically puts them there. But I guarantee you they have more money. They have a higher IQ. And so they're in almost like a leadership role in this video. And so they have to make sure to push this, that, you don't need to lose weight. To make these fat women feel better about staying fat.
absolutely, we can change who we are
Yes.
with what we got, right?
Or just give a bunch of gibberish, emotional garbage that ultimately doesn't help them at all.
Stop right there and move on to the next one.
Let me tell you what would help these women if they had a fucking walker so they could stand up. Let's watch them stand up.
Body positivity
didn't
can
show it.
promote unhealthy habits. Will the agreeers
Body positivity can promote unhealthy habits.
step forward?
I think blind body positivity can be harmful if it's just like always like don't ever consider any possibility that you could change something or improve your quality of life. Just blindly accept yourself. I think that's where it can get kind of tough.
Blindly accept yourself, ladies. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to cut it there and see you next time.